Hello, everyone. We're late,
Hello.
but it's okay. We're
You know
still
what?
here.
It'll be shocking if we're ever on time,
I
to
know.
be
The
honest.
day that we're on time is everyone's gonna be like, "What is going on?" I mean, it's
How's
just
everybody
expected.
doing? It is, yeah.
I may or may not have filmed a reading journal video today.
I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm. It's cute. I want to show, but I don't want people to not watch the video, so I'm gonna wait. You have
You,
to wait.
you can show me later, because I'll still
Yeah,
watch your video.
of course. Yeah, I'll show you. It's so cute. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good.
Good. What are we talking about today?
Oh, okay. So today we're discussing Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. I love this book so much.
Me too.
Oh, I wasn't in the mood to read it when I first started reading it, but then
Me
I really got invested. I was like, this is the best book I've ever read. Like,
so good.
it's so good.
Because,
It's
like,
so good.
I've been, like, weirdly more so in, like, a fantasy. Lisa's here.
Hi,
Hi,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Hi.
I feel like this is just going to be, like, an hour or something of the three of us fangirling over this book.
It's so good.
I'm ready.
Oh.
But I was like weirdly more in like a fantasy mood before
Oh.
picking this up. I don't know what's been going on with me, but I was like, rereading the Lunar Chronicles. So I was like really
Yeah.
into that. And I was going to read this before reading Winter because I was like, okay, like I need to prioritize this. So I put like my bookmark in it and everything, took the dust jacket off. Then I didn't read for a couple of days. And I was like, oh, I think I just need to read Winter and then like get it out of my system, read Wires and Nerve, and then I can get into this. Yeah, and then like also like I want to read Chain of Gold, so I was like, I just want to read anything that's like not contemporary.
Yeah, so
But
like knowing that you had to, you were like,
I
ugh.
know.
But then, yeah, I was the
I
same
read
way.
it and I said this to Lisa. I was like, it's feeding my soul. Like
It's so good. It's so good.
because like okay, we all know. I'm assuming we all know YA contemporary romances are my absolute favorite. They are my bread and butter, my favorite books of all time. But I've not been reading many recently. Like I think I only read like a small handful of like new to me contemporary books last year, like YA ones. I felt like the ones I did read were like rereads of like my favorites. So I feel like it's been so long since I read like a new YA contemporary that I just adore. And so this made me really happy that it was like a really good one. And I'm just like, it's so good.
I don't really read too much YA contemporaries, but this like it makes me like love the genre. Like it's just like the epitome of like a good YA contemporary. Like it just has everything. And yes, it was perfection. It was so good.
Like I knew it was gonna be good. You know, I didn't like hear any negative things about it. I mean, to be honest, I didn't hear many things about it. I don't even know how I heard about this book.
I didn't even know I didn't even know about it.
I feel like I just like was in the bookstore and I just saw it, and this was like an impulse buy kind of thing. I could be wrong because I think I bought it right after seeing Spider-Man, the new one, and I was like in chapters spending all my like Christmas gift cards. And I was just like going ham. I bought like a bunch of YA contemporary romances, and I just like kept buying them. So I think that was one of these. But I know Haley loves this book. Haley loves this book, so I knew that if she loved it, you know.
Yeah. It's so good. I wish I had a physical copy. I'm just reading a library ebook.
Stunning. Oh, look at it.
So all I have is just the picture that you can't even see.
I'll give you a full tour.
Oh, it's so
look
stunning.
At the inside. White underneath.
Ooh,
very cute. I feel like it would have been so cute if they put like an embossed thing right here. Of, like the journal, that would have been cute.
Or if the hard, like the book itself was like a baby blue color.
Oh, iconic. Yeah, that'd be cute. Hello.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, your tabs too.
I wasn't planning on tabbing it, so like, you can see that like I read like a good chunk of it before I even started tabbing. But then I read one line and I was like, okay, I'm tabbing this book. And I feel like I haven't tabbed a book just to tab it in a really long time. Like whenever I tab books now, it's like when I annotate, like when I write in the books too.
Yeah.
Did I tab Book Lovers? I don't think I did. I should have, but I don't think I did.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah. But like, I just haven't tabbed a book just to tab it in so long, and it was so fun.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I've done that in a while either.
Let me stick my silly little tabs.
I just love the look of tabs though. Like just going back and like, or even just like looking at them, I'm just like, wow.
I
It's
know.
so
I'm like,
good.
I didn't take any notes as I was reading. I meant to, but then like this book just sucked me in and I couldn't even like think about it. I'm surprised I
Yeah.
even managed to like get up and grab my tabs. But like because I did tab it, it was so easy to just like put all my like general thoughts down and then like flick through all my like favorite tabby tabs.
Yeah.
So I do have my favorite scenes written down, some of them, particularly
Amazing.
like my favorite romance scenes, not just like favorite scenes in general, but I'm assuming I'll
Yeah.
remember other scenes as we talk about it.
Yeah. I started taking notes in the first chapter, but then I just got sucked in. I was like, forget this. I just need to read. Like I didn't want to like stop. Like I just wanted to keep going.
Yeah. And like I feel like I've got zero complaints about this book.
Yeah,
Generally.
I
Like
don't have anything. Like it was just perfect.
perfection.
It was just so good.
So good. The first note that I have beyond just like me fangirling about how much I adore it, is me talking about Joya Goffney's writing style, which I found really easy to read. I really enjoyed it. Like it's not like it's really good, but it's like a simple writing style, but like some lines just really hit. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's my cup of tea. Like I feel like that's kind of like maybe how my writing is. I'm like I don't want to say that because it's like tooting my own horn. Because I'm
No,
saying how
I
much I
see
like
the
her writing
similarities
style.
between the two, yeah.
It's like simple, but then like there's just some lines that are just like, oh, that hits a little different.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that's the kind of writing style that I love, and that's what this was. It was just like really easy to read. Like it didn't take any like brain power. Like some books you're just like reading and you're like, oh, I got to read that line again. Like I didn't like take any of it in. And this wasn't like that. But there were so many lines that I loved. I loved the dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue was so
Loved
good.
the dialogue. It felt really realistic and like true to like how people speak, which I really, really enjoyed. In particular, I loved Carter's dialogue. I don't know why I was blanking on his name for a second. Yeah, so I feel like I really liked his dialogue. It made me happy.
We're taking off. As you should. I'm glad you raised it.
Oh, catch this being on all of our favorite books of the year list at the end of the year.
I know, it's so good. And the fact that we all read it together makes it even more special.
It really is. I still want to get like besties and book stickers to put in all the books we read.
It would be so cute. It would be so good.
So cute.
Like in my reading journal, let me show you guys. I made like, oh my gosh, not my Kindle flying. I made like little like cutouts of like the Besties and Books logo to put on the books that we read. And so I just put it like on the next to it. And it's so cute.
Like imagine that like cute. Just like in the book, like on like the title or something. And then like imagine if we like meet the authors. Like be like, we read this in our book club.
Yeah, that would be so cute.
Like it'd be cute to put on the cover, but like I'm not gonna go that far.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cover, but then I was like, maybe
but,
not.
Like, I am terrified for the day if we ever read a book that we don't like.
I know.
That would be devastating. So far, we're good.
Yeah, I was almost there within a holidays, but that's just because I read it at a bad time.
Yeah.
This was not on my 2023 bingo card.
It was on mine. I knew I was gonna love this book.
I don't have a bingo card. Oh, but I do want to say before we change to a different topic, like the easy to read thing, I picked up Ghost of the Shadow Market right after I finished Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry, and it took me so long. I was just like, wait, like it took me like 20 minutes to read 5 pages because I was just like, all right, because I've been out of the world for so long. I was so confused.
I feel like that one in particular was probably not a good choice because I was also confused when I was reading it because there's just so many characters and it's like, okay, who is the children of who? Who are their parents? Who are they related to? It's a lot.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't even remember who the parents were. I was like,
I still can't fully grasp it. I just kind of go along for the ride.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
OMG, I want a bad book about drama.
I don't want drama. I just want to be happy. Yeah, so I did like a little like note off of like the writing style one. But I really enjoyed the conversations in this book about like race and racism and what it's like to be like a Black person living in like a predominantly white school and like all of that. And how like she didn't really have any like Black friends until like Carter and Olivia, and I just like it was so good.
Yeah, I love how they made her feel like better, like about herself, you know, because she's like, always just been surrounded by like Destiny and Gia, which I hate them, but like, yeah,
And like she
good.
felt
I like
safe
the
around them and
yeah.
comforted around them and just like herself and happy. It was so good. And I just love like seeing Quinn navigate all of that and like the progression with it throughout the book. I thought that was really good, like dealing with her dad and like having that conversation with him about like the interaction that he had with Carter when he came to the house. And she's like, I have the same skin color as him, so like what am I supposed to think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that part. That hit a little hard. But I do feel like a lot of people will be able to connect and relate to Quinn and everything going on with that, which I really loved. And it was like not written in a way that was like really in your face. It felt really like natural and like just like really well done, I think.
Yeah, and the way that it was like spoken about too, like it made sense. Like and it's like it was important to have in the book too, because like just how like everything is, you know, like yeah.
It was just really good. I really enjoyed it. And like it didn't make the book feel like heavy or anything. Like I feel like she balanced like the harder conversations and like those kinds of I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but like those kind of things with like the cute like romance and like fun plot that we had going on.
Yeah.
I feel like it was all balanced really, really well.
I agree.
Do you want to talk about the characters a little bit?
I love them.
Me too.
I love them. Oh,
Oh,
they're
I just
so
want
good.
to like smile the entire time I talk about this book.
Like
It's
their
so
friendship though, like just like the whole group friendship is just so good, and it feels like realistic too. Like just friend groups are like that, and it's so good.
100%. I like Lisa's comment at the bottom there. Yeah.
Perfect mix of emotional moments and hard. Yeah, I agree, and it was balanced really well, and like I just like how she like worked everything in. You know.
Yeah. My favorite
Like she
kind of
said
books.
everything she needed to say in this book, and it's so
Absolutely.
good. And speaking of, I read the acknowledgments. Sorry, I just totally cut
Yeah,
you
I
off.
love
But she said,
acknowledgments.
yeah, she said she also kept like a journal of lists and stuff. Like that was based off her own experience. So I was like, what?
I love
Oh,
that. If you guys don't read acknowledgments, you need to. Yeah, I've got
yeah.
comments on the grandmother later
No,
on.
that I was a mess.
Patty.
I was a mess. I was
Um,
yeah.
my favorite kind of books, this is what I was going to say. My favorite kind of books are the ones that are like fluffy and happy, but also have the underlining like hard conversations and the characters are going through real hard shit. And those are just my, like, that's my bread and butter. I'm just going to keep saying that throughout this whole live stream. But like, for example, like Beach Read, like there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in that book and a lot of things that like make me sad because I can like relate to it or like whatever. But it's also like it's just like a really fucking cute romance. So it's got
I haven't read Beach Read, so
it's so good. But it's just like I don't know, I love it. I loved Quinn as a main character. I really loved following her and being in her head. Like that was really good. I loved her lists in the journal.
Yeah, the lists. I
I'm
relate
also
to that.
I'm also a list keeper. I know I was watching your vlog and you were talking about it.
I haven't read it, so I'll just be here just watching.
Lisa knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, like I'm not like I don't keep lists necessarily like she does. But I feel like I used to as a kid. Like I would always write like my crushes' names down and like have them in like an order of like who I liked best and like just like stupid things like that. I do kind of like organizing my life into lists, I suppose. But I like how she grew throughout the book with the lists and realized that like she didn't need to be organized and kept in all of these lists.
Printer's going off. I'll mute myself here.
But she didn't need to like restrict herself to like just these lists and let her lists tell her who she is. And I like how like Carter helped her realize that through like helping her with the list. And I liked how she like went apart from the lists and stopped making them and realized she didn't need to have them.
Yeah, but I like how even though she was still like making the lists in her head
mentally,
you know, like she didn't need to write them down. But like honestly, I feel so bad. Like if someone was to get a hold of my journal and like to do that to me, Quinn is so strong. Like
right, because like in my journals, I write everything I'm feeling in the moment, and sometimes I can be like quite mean. Like it's just like in the heat of the moment. It's just like to get my thoughts and feelings out. So like nobody can read that shit. Nobody. I mean, sometimes I send you like pictures of my journal. That's more like, that's not really about people. It's about just my own feelings. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna share this with Alyssa. Like I sent you one about anxiety once. I'm just like, look at this like dump I just did. Of my
even the way like you
trauma.
articulate things in your journals is just like, it's so beautiful. Like,
thank you.
My journals are just like middle school. Like,
oh yeah, like most of them are. But I was in my feelings that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved her progression throughout this book.
And I love how like at the end Carter was just saying that like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said something about like how the lists are like limiting her from like being her true self. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, because she just like kept defining herself by what was in her list, and like she couldn't stray away from that. And I'm like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah, and he was like, there's more to you than what's on the list. And like he even said that he's wanted to know her more because of like what he read, which still I don't agree with him reading it. But honestly, I probably would have done the same thing if I,
We'll get to that. But like, oh, I lost my train of thought. I hate when this happens.
I know.
And there's like an awkward silence while I try to remember what I was thinking.
We'll just listen to the printer ASMR.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're talking about journals. Quinn. Carter. Not restricting herself.
Okay. Yeah.
Did your sister come in the room?
Yeah, she was whispering.
I couldn't get my words out of my mouth just then. Like stuttering.
That's okay.
Carter lists. Trying to follow my train of thought.
How he was saying that she's not defined by the lists and how there's
yeah. So I liked how he like read the lists. I didn't like that he read the list. That's not what I'm saying. But that she was like, you read the list, you know everything there is to know about me. And he's like, no, like there's plenty of things that I don't know. Like because you are not your lists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. And with the lists, this is like jumping far ahead, but the fact that he was apologizing with lists.
Love a full circle moment there.
Oh, it was so good.
So good. Yeah, I really loved Carter as a character.
I did too.
Lisa, she knows.
Yeah. If that was to happen to me, I would like hang those lists on my wall. Probably not because it has personal stuff, but like I would like circle back to them all the time.
Yeah.
Like they would mean something to me.
Yeah, I have like a box sitting on the cabinet over here that has like any notes about writing that people have given me.
Yeah.
So like the cards that you gave me with like my Funko Pops you made for me for writing, like I keep those in a box. Anything that like Kaylee sends me is in a box. So I can just like always refer to it. I'm a big sentimental person.
Me too.
Yeah, I really loved him. Not like just as a love interest, but as a character himself. I was just like obsessed with him. Although admittedly, I was not his biggest fan at first because I was like, why are you being rude to Quinn? What's your deal? Why do you have a chip on your shoulder? Yeah. And then also, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of the book, for some reason, I thought that her friend was gonna be the love interest. What's his name? Matt?
I did too. And then I thought Destiny might be a love interest too. I didn't
get that one.
I was a confused girly.
Like I think I remember sitting in my bed and like reading the book, and then I just like paused for a second, looked up at the imaginary camera, and I was like, obviously Matt's gonna be the love interest.
Sorry.
But like no. Like I do like the chemistry that like Matt and Quinn had, but I like them as friends now that I know about her and Carter, and I'm happy that they're the ones together. But I do like the little like
me too.
I do like the little moments that Matt and Quinn had like in the trampoline. Those were cute.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
Just a little side tangent there.
Yeah, I used to have a friend in elementary school. We would always have talks like that on her trampoline too. So it was just like I was like, oh,
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quickly became obsessed with him. Like I said earlier, I loved his dialogue, and I just love how he like interacted with everybody in the book. Like I don't know, it just felt really real and fun. And like I have a specific mention of a dialogue later on that we'll get into when he's talking to Olivia about something. But I just absolutely adore the way that he talks to people. I don't know why, but it got me in my feelings, and I was like, honey, I think I'm in love with you. If he was age appropriate, obviously, but whatever. Anita, 23-year-old Carter. And then also I feel like I have to mention that he wears jewelry, so naturally.
Oh, the earrings. Yeah.
The earrings and the chain, like,
yep.
Like, okay, looking at the book cover, right? It's on there. The chain, necklace, and the earrings are on there. So how come it never went into my brain that he is a boy who wears jewelry? Like, hello?
The one specific scene where like it hit, where like I noticed that he was wearing jewelry, it was when they were going to the club. I was like, oh, he's a jewelry man.
He's a jewelry man. Like, we all know that men in jewelry is my kryptonite. I make all my love interests in my books wear jewelry.
Yeah.
Particularly earrings get me. Like, I don't really care about necklaces as much, but like if you've got like black studs or little hoops or like just anything in your ears, instantly you're 10 times more attractive to me.
Yeah.
So he's beautiful.
He is.
This boy. As I should. You're right.
I was what were you gonna say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, about Carter's character, the thing that like I really loved the most was how he like respected Quinn's boundaries. Like, he knew that she was upset with him, and he didn't like push it. He was like, "All right, like take the time you need and tell me when you're ready." Like that, I loved, because, and I feel like in not a lot of like YA contemporaries, but like in some, like the love interest like pushes the character to like tell him what's wrong, like even when she's not ready. But he like gave Quinn the space that she needed to like really figure it out, and like only when she was ready he would do things. I was like, I respect you. I
love him.
Yeah. And like he was even like that with his friends. It wasn't just Quinn too. Like he gave everybody the space they needed. Like,
he's just a respectful little boy.
Yeah.
That sounded weird. A respectful little guy. I'm gonna stop talking. Anyways. Oh no, my nail just fell off. Okay, intermission while I glue it back on.
Yeah, he was so respectful. I was like, that's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, he was great. Very attractive. I'm in love. Just awkwardly trying to talk right through my nail. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
That's true. We're really starving for,
Yeah. Well, just like based on like sometimes like your own high school experiences, you're like, where was this when I needed it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where was my Carter?
I wasn't in high school, like in an actual high school, like in my senior year. I was homeschooled, but like I still like had experiences like that in school. So
high school was not the time for romance for me. I
was too anxious for anything. Like
I had experiences, none of which were positive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
But I really loved his relationship with Olivia, his friendship with her. I loved the way they like treated each other and talked to each other, and just their chemistry. What's a romance? Never heard her. That's hilarious. Yeah, just I loved them, and like the scene that I was talking about with their dialogue and like just the way that they interacted that made me like fall in love with them as friends was on page 96. I'll grab it for you. It's where Quinn thinks they're dating.
Oh yes, I was gonna say that. That was like one of my favorites.
One of our staples of these live shows is me dramatically reading things. So
of course, it's better than the eyeball. So we'll take it.
The eyeball?
6 of Crows, the eyeball.
Oh right. Yeah, this is much more wholesome. I forgot about the eyeball. Oh, I love that scene. That was good shit. Okay, so you're encouraging your girlfriend to go out with another guy. He looks at me like I spit on him. Hilarious. Girlfriend, you think Libby's he bends over laughing. Hell no. Then he runs over to knock on Olivia's window. She lets it down. What? She still sounds angry with him. Quinn thought we were dating. Olivia sticks her head out the window and looks directly in my eyes, hers full of disgust. That's incest, practically, Carter says. Like, just the way that, like, he bends over laughing and then, like, runs over to knock on her window. I can picture it perfectly, and it's just so funny.
It's so good.
Like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But then I love how, like, it talks about, like, because he did say baby on the phone, right? And he was talking to his baby sister, and it's just so cute.
Yeah. I love his sister. She's
like
so
that
cute.
was my next note too, was talking about him and his sister, because they were just There is something so attractive about a guy who is good with children.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
whether it's like just like a random child or whether it's like a
Mhm.
sibling, it's just so, it hits every time, you
Yeah.
know? It's just, there's something so like pure and wholesome about it.
Yeah.
Just like seeing like there's a scene where he like gave her like a piggyback ride and like, you know, like was putting on her little light up shoes.
Yeah, the shoes. Yeah.
The
It does.
shoes.
It really does.
Yeah,
So good.
it's so
Oh.
good.
And like the reasoning behind he's so close with his sister too, just like it warms your heart because he
It
just
really
wants to make
does.
sure that she has like a fatherly figure because he didn't
Yeah.
have it. But he's not like putting too much pressure on himself because it's just natural. Like it's just like, you know, and it's so good.
Oh wait, I marked the
So
page
good.
where he was putting her shoes on. Page 179.
Wasn't Quinn thinking about something too? Like when he was putting the shoes on, she was like, "What?"
Yeah. Imani grumbles, turning the television off, and follows her brother to the door. Also, Imani, such a cute name. He helps her put on a pair of light-up sneakers, and I try to control my attraction to him. Why is that so freaking adorable? Then he kneels and lets her ride his back.
Yeah.
And then he runs off with her, and she's squealing and laughing and bouncing on his back, and I just...
It's so cute. But like imagine like having Carter as your older brother. Just like when she like that's just her brother. Like
absolutely not. I need him to be my husband. Casually. Yeah. I guess we can talk about other characters. I really loved Olivia, obviously. She was so chill and just like so nice because like even when she like, you know, found out that what's her face, Quinn, was like a part of like the smear campaign kind of. She was like, yeah, okay, so.
Yeah, I loved when how like she went over, like Quinn went over to talk to her, and then she was like mad because her mom just like opened the door, was like someone's here, and then she's like, oh, it's just Quinn, what's up?
Yeah.
I was expecting her to like kind of be upset, but she was just like, it's like I don't care, like
like
I loved that.
I'm obsessed with her, and she was just like they were just such good friends. Like everyone needs an Olivia.
Well, they got along so well, so fast too. Like I've had friendships like that. Like me and you were like that. Like we just became best friends immediately.
We're soulmates.
Like it's just yeah.
What was the other dude's name? Auden? What a weird name. He was cool too.
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't have as much of a role, but like he was good.
Yeah.
I had no problems, no qualms. Is that a word? No qualms with Auden?
Yeah. No
qualms. That's a weird word.
It is.
Where did I pull that from?
Why did you decide to use that one?
Qualms. What would be an alternative word? No issues? Nah, qualms hits better.
Yeah.
It sounds really weird now the more that I'm saying it. So we can, you know, deep dive into the romance. Because all my fave scenes I wrote for the romances right here.
Oh, beautiful.
We got a lot of dramatic readings we can go through today.
Yes.
You're welcome. My gift to you guys today. I became so invested in their romance very quickly. Like very quickly. What was my first like romance tab? I'm curious. Oh, it's when he says, yeah, that's my girl, when this dude is trying to like hit on her. That was cute. That was actually not my first one, but like that was cute.
Didn't he also call Quinn his girl when she was with Olivia?
Maybe.
I think because they were talking about that artist that they didn't like, and then Quinn said that she wasn't opposed to him. Or like she said something about it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's my girl. And then he was like, and then she was like, wait, your girlfriend's right there.
Yeah. The first tab I have is when they're singing like in the car or whatever. I think it's in the car. And no, it's not in the car. It's in the I have no idea. But he's like taking her hands and she's like,
oh yeah, that was in the car.
I'm afraid of how much I might be taking this to heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I smile hoping the song never ends.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, wait, I love this line. Why didn't I tab this? You know that feeling you get when something amazing is happening? Like if you try to keep it up for one more second, you might spontaneously combust and destroy everything.
I highlighted that too.
I think I was going to tab in, and for some reason I didn't, but love that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I became even more obsessed with him when I found out that he's been into her for years.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Such a good trope.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
We found that out kind of like on page 142. I'm so glad I wrote all these scenes down so I can share them with you.
Did too.
Oh yeah, she's like, because the idiots had a crush on you since you started going to school at Hayworth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, impossible. He hates me. If he hated you, he wouldn't care about clearing his name. Not enough to help you this much. He can't stand that you think he would do something like this to you.
Yeah, it's so good.
And then Olivia's like, he's trying to figure you out, pushing you to make you mad. Why? Because you're hot when you're mad? I don't know. He's stupid.
Yeah, I remember loving that interaction.
I feel like Olivia and Carter are just like the perfect duo. Mm-hmm. I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
Like so close that like they basically are siblings. Like her incest line was accurate.
Well, those type of like friendships and relationships like are just my favorite. Like I just love them. Like it's like a found family. Like
yeah.
I love it so much.
Do you want to go through all my favorite scenes?
Of course.
Okay. Okay, page 153. Hello. Okay, what's this scene? Oh, they were looking at each other and they forgot what they were saying. Like just both of them completely forgot what they were talking about. So like a group like goes past them and he steps really, really close to her. So it's like we're nearly chest to chest. He places one hand on the brick beside my arm. I'm swathed.
I have no idea.
I don't know. In the smell of his shower soap, staring up at his kissable neck. Hello. Then he looks down into my eyes. He says, I forgot what I was saying. I'm getting too excited.
Yeah.
My eyes roam over his lips back to his neck and the gold chain there. Hi. Me too. I forgot what he was saying, what I was saying, what I was feeling before this aching desire to get closer to his breath and why I ever thought that I hated him. And then Olivia knows.
Mm-hmm. I love how she knows.
She's like, that proves nothing.
It up.
She's like, that proves
it's
nothing.
So funny.
Oh, just all these little moments with them. Like,
yeah.
I forgot what I was saying.
And the way that he said it first too.
Like he just lost himself in her because they were so close.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's so good.
Oh my god, on page 172, he calls her beautiful. He says, Quinn, you've always been beautiful. You know that.
Oh, yeah, it's the always.
You've always been beautiful.
Well, because that just shows that he knew of her before, and he's always thought that she's beautiful.
He's my Carter. Who's gonna tell me that I've always been beautiful? Oh,
it's so good.
Page 177 when she was sleeping in his room because she was drunk.
Monty, who are you?
Monty. She's like, you're Carter's girlfriend? I shake my head with a smile. But Carter only lets his girlfriend sleep in his room.
Literally, Lisa.
I will. Welcome to my audiobook presents.
Yes.
Besties and Books presents Brittany reading. Excuse me while I ugly cry. Yeah. It's just, and then Amani calls her the prettiest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the way Amani calls her queen. Oh my god.
So cute.
I love her.
Amazing.
I love her.
Okay, page 188. They fall asleep during the movie. It's so cute. So she wakes up and realizes that her legs are curled in his lap and everything, and she loves being in his warmth and so she's like, I'm so excited. Okay. I'm a nerd. That was so geeky of me.
It's okay. We embrace it here. that anytime you want.
I am never rewatching this live show. I can't deal with the way I'm acting right now. Then I get greedy. I flip over onto my other hip to face him, my nails curling into his abdomen. One of his hands lands on my thigh, the other on my shin, but his eyes are still closed. I stare at the shape of his thick lips, the bridge of his wide nose, the spot where his dimples would be. We love some good dimples. And then his eyes open, and then there's like a knowing admission within their stare, and I can't do it, okay? It's
and the way they
cute.
keep looking at each other too, like they don't like look away, like
the intensity in that moment.
It's so good.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought of the audiobook, because I remember you said that you were listening to it. I will have to remember that for when I do reread. I'll have to remember.
I'm obsessed. Okay, what was the next one? Oh, page 204. Okay. They're on the phone, and it's so fucking cute. This whole phone call was everything to me. It's past midnight. I'm tired, especially considering last night, but I'm not ready to hang up with him. His voice, his words, his presence comforts me. I can admit that. He comforts me.
Yeah.
But then he has to go and ruin it. And he's like, so, panties and bra or just panties? I take that back. I am no longer comfortable.
She's like, never mind.
Never mind. But then I love as well when they hang up. And she's like, I should not feel this giddy. Me while I'm reading this to you, I should not feel this giddy. I should not already miss him. I should not pick up my phone and text him. Only panties. But I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That part, it was so good.
Oh, and then when Carter texts back, he's like, holy shit, what have you done to me?
So good.
Okay. Oh, I'm like shaking. I'm so excited.
I love that.
This is why I tap, so I can just like go back and like relive things without having to reread the book. Which, speaking of, I already want to reread the book, so.
I'm currently just looking through all my highlights to see if I have anything to contribute.
That's all so good. Oh my god. And then he kisses her temple. Page 232. Like, the temple kiss. I'm sorry. Oh, I wrote page 239. More kissing.
I can see you just writing that in all caps.
I definitely, yeah. I nod, closing my mouth against his, closing my eyes. He kisses me back for a minute because it truly is the best thing in the world, and it's so hard to stop. It's the best thing in the world. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I'm going to fucking cry.
Oh, I really like when they're going to the club and she's like looking at Carter, and then she's like, he's already so beautiful. This is too much. I was like, yeah.
So good.
And then she said, it's not the alcohol. I'm simply weak in the knees. So good. So good.
Oh my god, yeah. And then in his list, speaking of, that was like the perfect thing for you to just say, because the tab on this one, he says, you know how weak in the knees I get when you smile at me. You should exploit that more.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Hello.
Hello. But at the bottom of the page, he says, she says, make sure you have time because I have a lot to say. And he says, bring it. I got all the time in the world.
All the time in the world for you, literally.
I can't. It's so good. Okay, I only got 3 more. And then my dramatic readings will stop. Probably. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay. She's not my type, like, at all. What is your type? You. He lets that word stir me up. Then he says, obviously.
Yeah, it's the obviously for me.
I smile riding the wave of 1,000 butterflies. I try to force it away, but it's like the exact opposite of my ugly cry. I've completely lost control over my face muscles.
Oh, so good. That's so good.
This is such a good title too. Excuse me while I ugly cry.
No, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was like telling them like how I finished the book, and I was like, I became the title. Like I was the title. Like
that was an aggressive laugh, but yes.
I was the title. Oh, it's so good. Oh, but back to like the the club scene where she was saying like, I'm not supposed to be here. He was like, and then he was like, why? Like, what does that mean? And she was like, because I'm not the type of person. And he was like, I don't think you should explain your discomfort by ascribing it to the type of person you are. It seems limiting. And he was like, if you say that you're not the type of person to feel comfortable in this situation, you're telling yourself how to feel next time. And like, I needed that. Like, I very much like, I was the title.
I feel like Carter was calling us out.
Yeah, there were so many times that like he was calling me out. I was like, excuse me. Like,
excuse me while I ugly cry, sir.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. Oh my god, this part, bestie. Page 350. He's looking down at me speechless. Then he cradles my cheeks between his palms. Quinn. This time he says my name like it's part of his foundation. Joya Goffney, I've got some words for you.
Ma'am. It's so good.
Ma'am, you hurt me in the best way. Oh my god, and the way this book ends is just so fucking perfect. Like, I find, like, the last, like, page of a book and the last, like, sentences the hardest to write. Because it's like, how do you end a book? Yeah. I don't
know. She does have another book. I forget what it's called.
Does she?
But I think...
Oh, I am looking.
Let me see it.
Look that shit up.
It is...
Is it out? I need it.
I
need it right.
I was gonna get it like right after I finished. Oh my gosh, not it.
I need it. I'm gonna cry. I'm so excited.
I think it's out, or it's supposed to.
Future book club pick, absolutely, Lisa.
Obviously. Yeah, it is out. It's called Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl.
Oh, love that. Hello. Obsessed. I'm gonna look that up later.
Yeah, the cover's really cute. It's pink.
It's gonna look so cute with this one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna cry. Okay. I might just like make room on my shelf to display this copy instead of something else, because I need to look at this cover. I think I did have it displayed at one point. I don't remember. Okay, the last paragraph is just everything that I ever needed in my life. Kissing Carter feels like I'm right where I need it to be. Like everything happened just so that I could end up here, free of lies and fear and guilt, with friends who understand and respect me, and a boy who isn't perfect, but who's patient and whose light shines over all my darkness. Like, finally.
Yeah. I read that and then I realized that was like the last paragraph. I was like, no!
Like finally? Such a good last, like, 2 words. Absolutely.
Oh. So powerful.
This whole book is just
yeah.
It's so good. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to. One of my comments was in one of the notes. It was titled "Because it's obvious that I'm observant." I highlighted that and I just made the comment. I was like, I'm going to throw up.
Mood.
It's so funny. Oh, she does.
I'm gonna scream.
So
new favorite author material. Hello. And like her author picture is so cute.
Yeah.
Like, hello. Love the shirt. It's adorable. Glasses are cute. Everything. So the plot, bestie, the plot. I loved the whole journal blackmail plot. I thought it was so interesting.
I didn't love it because I would freak out if it was like if I was in the situation, but I did.
It was entertaining though to read about.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel like, and this isn't a complaint because I did say I have 0 complaints, because this didn't affect my enjoyment whatsoever. But I do feel like it was relatively obvious that it was Gia and Destiny who had the journal.
Yeah, I knew it was them.
Yeah. Like, I was trying to think of like if there was any other contenders. I'm like, there's no way Matt would do that to her. Like,
I was kind of suspicious it was him at first, but then I was like, nah, I don't think he would.
No.
Not after that trampoline talk. I don't think he would.
No. And I was like, who else? Like, I'm like, obviously it's somebody we've been introduced to. Otherwise, like, that's out of nowhere. So I'm like, it's obviously Gia and Destiny because they're bitches. So.
Oh, Gia is so disgusting.
Oh, the worst.
I hate her.
Yeah, like, it being obvious didn't affect my enjoyment. Like, it's a YA contemporary. Like, some things are going to be obvious. But, like, what I liked about it the most was just, like, seeing them accomplish the things on her list. I love books that deal with lists, and I want to write one day. I just don't have, like, an idea for one yet. But like books like Since You've Been Gone, where they're like trying to like accomplish things on a list, because it gives you like a built-in plot, like things to do and like, you know, shenanigans, fun hijinks. Yeah. But however, I did not love that Carter read her journal. But it's okay because it brought us him writing his own lists to get forgiveness. That was not my favorite. I mean, I do feel like if I were to like be in his shoes, I probably also would have read it. And I probably, you know, it'd be hard to restrain in a situation like that, I feel like, especially like when you see your own name in there, and then he just like kept looking for his own name.
Yeah, like if I saw my name in someone's journal, I'd be like, what
and
else
like it's like
there?
presented right in front of you. My Discord will not shut up. I'm going to mute them.
The reveal of who had the journal was not sure. Yeah, I agree. I didn't really care either. Groveling. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like he knew that he was in the wrong and he shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've peeped in people's personal shit before, you know?
Yeah.
I thought I was justified, though. I'm not gonna explain the situation, but I was justified. But yeah, so I didn't love that part. I can hear my echo and it's bothering me. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, like I liked the groveling that he did. It was worth it to witness that.
Well, I like how he knew he was in the wrong, and like he knew, like he was like, yeah, Quinn, your feelings are like justified. Like I shouldn't have done this, but like I can't undo it now.
Yeah.
You know, and so he was. Yeah, it was good. And like it wasn't those type of situations where he like I know like I don't know if this has ever been in any book, but like he like knew he was wrong. Like he wasn't trying to be like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like
he wasn't trying to like excuse himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like how he didn't like use what he learned in the journal like against her in any way. Like he didn't hold anything against her. He didn't like use it to like be rude to her. He only took what he knew to aid her and to help her accomplish things and to like push her to be better. So he used it to her advantage, not to like blackmail her into something or you know, throw something back in her face that she had done or something like that. He did it to make her better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only for Carter, I'll forgive him just because it's him. My last note is just about her relationship with her grandma.
Oh, I was just gonna say we should talk about that.
Yeah, that's the last thing because I didn't want to talk about it because it's sad.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting that like we only actually got to see one scene of them together that wasn't like a flashback, like only one scene like in the present. But I loved it so much.
Yeah, I feel like it shows like how important it was to her too. Like it was a big deal because she's been avoiding it for so long that like she finally did it and she's like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I can understand. I understand her hesitancy though to go see her grandma. Hattie was her name, right?
Yeah.
Because like it is hard to see like a loved one kind of like deteriorate. I hate saying that word.
Yeah.
And not being themselves. Especially like with something like Alzheimer's, I can imagine would be like even more difficult.
Yeah.
Because then like that's something that's gonna stick in your mind forever. And like you don't want that to override the memories you have of them and the way that you view them. You know, because like I had my grandpa and he was like deteriorating quite bad at the end of his life there, and he was like still himself, but just like not well. And I didn't get to see him before he passed away because I was sick, and he was in the hospital and I didn't want to go to the hospital while I was sick. So I didn't get to see him, and I was like, oh, I'll just see him tomorrow if I'm feeling a little bit better. But then he passed away in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. And my mom went with my dad and like my uncle and like whatever, my grandma, and they went to the hospital to go to him after he had passed. And I didn't go. And my mom didn't even think to ask me if I wanted to go. And it was like the middle of the night. Like everyone was like frazzled because they weren't expecting it to happen at that moment, obviously.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't get to go see him, even though like I probably wouldn't have wanted to necessarily see him that way. Because like when you die, like they put like a towel under your head and like you know, but I think I would have preferred that to how I had to see him at the funeral, because they had like a viewing room where his like casket was open, so I had to like see him like look like a mannequin essentially, and so like that does stick in my brain where he like didn't look like himself. Because like he was like thinner than he was when he had died, because they had like drained him of everything, and he didn't have his age spots anymore, and it was like he doesn't look like himself. I didn't mean to like get into like a big rant there, but like basically I can see how it would be hard to see somebody that you love so much and that like you have such a deep connection with not being the way that you remember them being. It'd be hard.
Yeah, her hesitancy made sense, but the thing that like it is, but I don't like it, but like how her dad was just like, time isn't gonna stop. Like you have to go see her. And that was like, I always like, it doesn't like, it kind of relates, but like it's hard for me sometimes to like continue going with things. So like just him saying that like time is just gonna keep going. Like it's just like the world never stops. Like it's just gonna keep going. Like you have to do it.
Scary.
It really is. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. I was like,
life sucks.
It does.
Yeah, but I did love every mention of Hattie, and like loved like her like reflecting on things, like with the swimming hole thing, and writing on whatever that thing was called, the
gator.
The gator. And I loved how she went there with Olivia too. That was cute.
Oh, and the picture that she took, so good.
Right.
So good.
But yeah, I loved every mention of her, whether it was cute and fun, like a cute story, or if it was like a sad moment. I just really connected to those parts and loved that, because I do have this fear of like not going to see somebody and then they suddenly pass away. I have a huge fear of that, because obviously like I've been through it, and it's like with my grandpa, it wasn't the first time. My great grandma also passed away, and I was like, oh, I'll see her next time, and then I didn't get to see her again. So yeah, I do have like a fear of that. Like you can't push things off like that, no matter like, you know.
Like you might want to, but like, and you really shouldn't, because like time is limited.
Her dad, like, didn't he have like regrets or something?
Yeah, because his dad.
So like that's also so sad. He just didn't want her to have the same regrets that he did.
He was, the way he went about it at first though was like very pushy, and like you could tell that he was just projecting his own feelings. But
100%.
Then afterwards, I liked how he was like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I apologize. I don't want you to go through what I went through. And this just how like the characters act and like all the interactions, it just feels so real,
so authentic.
Like it's just like there were parts that like just like you could relate to, because like you know, it's so good. And with like the flashbacks, like her thinking about her grandma, the way it was done was like so organically. Like it wasn't just like out of nowhere. Like it was just like in Hannah Montana or something, where it's just like that transition and it's just like you're just there. Like it was like very authentic.
I can go through some of my favorite quotes too, because I realized I didn't write those down. So more dramatic reading. I told you there might be more. But I love this line. It says, "Maybe because I'm too scared to move. Because if I move, people might see me. Because staying still is easier." Like, I feel like I love when books have like quotes like that or lines like that where I can relate to it, even if we're not thinking about the same thing. Like what she is referencing here is not what I'm thinking in my head to relate it to myself. But I love that like I can still make connections like that. So even if I haven't necessarily gone exactly through what they're going through, I can still, you know, feel it to an extent and relate it to my own situation. It's kind of like with music, how like you can interpret lyrics to fit your life, and how like you can relate to it.
I love that about just like all like art forms. Like it can mean something different to the person like who made it, but like it's all up to interpretation, and just like the artist and like the person like knows that like it might hit different for other people, but like the core is the same. It's just like the way that you relate to it. It's so beautiful. I love it so much.
This one is another like similar one, because she's talking to Carter in this situation about the blackmail. She thinks it's him still. But she says, it feels like a balloon is inflating inside me, taking all my air. It feels like no matter where I turn, everything is on fire in every direction, and I have no one to help me. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I feel like in everyday state.
Same.
That's just yeah.
That's just me.
Like, I related that to like anxiety and depression.
Me too.
Not blackmail.
Yep.
No one's blackmailing little old me. Could you imagine?
I would not be okay.
Oh, the whole list for reasons I don't belong here. Like this is like the part right before where you were talking about earlier in the club, where he says like it seems limiting. So like I loved her whole list because I also do not belong in situations like that, or like I often feel like that. Like I went to a bar with my friends for one of my friends' birthdays, and I was like, I don't belong here. Like I'm not a bar person. Like
I've never been to one, so I don't know.
It was loud in there.
Oh yeah, overwhelming.
Yeah, but like this whole list. 1, I don't look like the girls who come here. 2, and I don't have their confidence. 3, I've never had fun at parties. Me. 4, if I get caught with my fake ID, I don't have what it takes to flirt my way out of prison. 5, I'm not comfortable dancing in public. Me. 6, and I'm not comfortable standing on the wall either. 7, I'm not comfortable talking to strangers. 8, I'm not comfortable with this many people staring at me. 9, I'm not comfortable with this many people judging me all at once because I'm pretty sure I don't measure up.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh. The way that this like perfectly calls back to that list. So that one was reasons I don't belong here. And this one is reasons I belong exactly where I am.
Ah, so good.
Joya got me.
I'm so excited to like reread and like make connections and stuff.
Right? So the last thing in this list is there are enough closed doors and glass ceilings in the world. My comfort zone shouldn't be one of them.
I was just going to read that one. I was literally just reading that.
Look at us. Our brains forever connected.
And I like the one before that too. It says, and if being here is a mistake, I think I'll probably learn something from it. Like, I've been trying to like adapt that mindset. Like, even if I fail or like I don't succeed in something in the way that I think it will, like it will still provide something, you know, like everything happens for a reason. So good.
Yeah. This is the part where Olivia and Quinn are on the gator. That's what it's called. I'm bubbling over with nostalgia, my chest expanding with relief, joy, and sadness all at the same time. I just really liked that line.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's good too. When she finally tells her parents about Columbia, she's like talking about like all the things that she accomplished, and it's like right before her who I am list. She's like, I'm back at the place where I first found myself, finding more pieces of who I am.
It's so good. I love the parts. I don't remember like exactly what they said, but they were just like, when did you become so brave or something? And she just like, yesterday? She's like, I don't remember. Somewhere in the last 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good.
I love it. And then even her who I am list, like rewritten, I love that so much. Because like you can see like the strikeouts and like...
Oh, yeah. I love a good strikeout moment. So I'm going to read all of number 7 in the manifestations of Hattie's essence during our visit, but particularly like the last paragraph of it, but I'll read the whole thing. I didn't want to leave her. I could tell how cooped up she felt. She never did like staying inside. That's kind of how I felt with my grandpa too. Like he was such a person who loved being outside and gardening and like just being busy. And so seeing him like in a hospital bed, not being able to do anything, it was like, poor dude.
Yeah.
She's always been too big for indoors, but Olivia was waiting out front and my parents were blowing up my phone. So I kissed her forehead and promised to be back this weekend. Then, this is the part that I specifically tabbed. Then she said she loved me. It's been more than a year since I've heard her tell me she loves me. I told her I loved her too and left feeling fractured and healed at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
The part that I really loved in that chapter was when Quinn was like, oh, I'm gonna tell her that they sold her land and then she can like tell them to get it back. And then Hattie's just like, oh, I told them to do that. And she's like, but that's your home. And she's like, home is not a place. Home is here. And then she puts her hand over her heart and she said, don't you fear, I'm right here. I was like, That's where I started sobbing. I have tears like forming in my eyeballs
I
right now.
didn't cry while reading this book, but I was feeling the emotions for
No,
sure.
I was a mess. And then I really liked this quote. And it was like, I wasted so much time living in fear that I thought I was comfortable, and I was writhing in a cage that I didn't know existed, making lists of all my worries with no intent on doing anything about them.
I was gonna
And
read
that
that
part,
one.
yeah, that part made me cry even more because like I feel
Mhm.
that.
Me
Like I'm
too.
just so scared of everything.
Me
And it's
too.
just oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Oh,
Okay,
I
but
love
then
books.
the last one I have is when Carter has his own list of things to do before college, and he wants her help with his list.
Mhm.
But she says, "My smile widens. It grows and grows like a plant that you water every day, like a scar that heals from patience, like the time you take to make sure you feel okay, so big and so bright." This book is just so fucking beautiful. I'm so
Really
glad
good.
we read this one.
I am too. Oh, it's so
It's
good.
just everything that I could have wanted from this book and more.
Yeah.
Just,
I also love like when she's telling Carter like she got her journal back and she like confronted them and he's just like, I'm so proud of you. I was like, he's literally doing like just what everyone should, and we're all just like, oh my god.
well, that's how sad the world is. It's like we're
It
just
really
like
is.
so excited over the bare fucking minimum.
Yep. I
It's
also
so
really like.
cute.
I know. I also liked when she was like making a list about her mom, and she was like, she's an independent bad bitch. And she's like, am I allowed to say that about my mom?
Of
I was like,
course.
yeah.
Damn
And
right
then
you
yeah,
can.
it's so good.
I'm so glad.
I didn't even know about it until it won the like till we were like making the poll for it.
You're welcome. I always
Um,
come in clutch with the good book
yeah.
recommendations.
I've literally never read a book that you recommended me that I didn't like.
I'm scared
Like
for the day that it might happen.
I know. I still need
Then my
to
streak will be
look
broken.
at the list that you sent me.
Oh yeah, I sent her a list of books that she should read. It was long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It was like impromptu. She was like, I'm gonna make a list of all the books that I think you should read. I was like, okay.
and then I just did it.
Yeah. And then
Just
she
like
texted me, she was like, did you read this one yet? And I'm like, no. She's like, perfect.
I literally brought my laptop into my room, just stared at my bookshelves, and was like typing
Oh,
away. I was like, yes. You need to react to that.
I do. Maybe I'll do it sometime soon.
Wait, can
I'll
you
do
like vlog it while we're chatting?
it. I could try.
That'd be fun. We can do it after this, please.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. So next month, what is our book? I'm so excited.
Talk flirty to me.
Talk flirty
Yes.
to me.
I don't have a copy yet, but I will be getting a physical copy for this one.
Oh, definitely do. My agenda to make everybody read this book is just going so strong. Every
The
time
reactions on Twitter have been like so well. Like
I know.
everybody seems so excited. I'm so happy.
I know. Every time somebody tells me that they put this book on their TBR because of me or they read it because of me, I gain 5 lives, 5 years on my life. Maybe I do gain 5 lives.
I think it is 5 lives.
Like this book, I swear to God, if any of you don't like this book, I will ugly cry. It's so good. Like
I'm also very excited.
this book. Like I literally have it sitting above my desk at all times. This is my desk copy. My tabbed copy's in my room. But this is my display copy that I stare at because I love Libby Hart and I'm so proud of her and she's my bestie. I love her to pieces. But this book is so good. So
I love it.
Like it's so funny. It's so cute. It's so everything. But I'm gonna stop talking because that's for the next month's live show.
Imagine you just start being like, all right, so let's discuss it.
Like, yeah, so this is February's book. Go pick it up. Buy it on Amazon or Indigo or Barnes & Noble, wherever you buy your books. I'm so excited.
Me too.
I'm so fucking excited. I could cry. Okay.
Oh. Well, I'm very glad with Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry. It's so good.
So good.
Oh, I feel like this was a great discussion too.
Oh, it was so good. I'm so glad I took all my notes.
Yeah, it was all over the place at some points, but
that's just how we roll, you know? You just think of something and you gotta say it.
Yeah, we love a little chaos.
Oh, that's our brand.
Yes, it is. Truly. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining in. Lisa, I'm really glad that you enjoyed the book as well. I'm going to have to remember about the audiobook to give that a try. But we will be posting all the live show sprints and discussion on Twitter, probably on the community tab as well. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure you get Talk Flirty to me for next month if you're planning on joining. I'm very excited. We're both very excited. How many times have you read it?
I read a manuscript version of it in 2021. I read another manuscript version of it at the beginning of 2022, and then I read it physically. So 3 times.
Amazing. Of course, Lisa. Thanks for being here. But yeah, we'll end it here. We love you all very much. Thanks for
besties.
tuning in. Yes, we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.